Welcome to our third travel vlog where we've covered almost everything we did during our 10 days trip to Ladakh. We took a flight from Pune to Delhi and after a sleepless night flew to Leh at 5 a.m. in the morning. We'd hardly slept for an hour, but this view made us forget every damn thing.
I throw my cares up in the air and I don't think they're coming down. Yeah, I love how it feels right now. This is life. Hold on tight. And this is the dream.
Welcome to Leh.
You never know where you'll find it. And I
We went to our hotel, grabbed some breakfast, and we're waiting in this cute sit out while our rooms were getting ready.
taking in a whole new scene and I'm swimming with a new crowd. Breaking down the old four walls and I'm building them up from the ground. Yeah, I love how it feels.
And this was the view from our room, super homely and super comfy. That day we pretty much did nothing as we were getting acclimatized with the weather. So we just went to the market in the evening to grab some essentials for the rest of the trip. Had some yummy authentic dinner and went off to sleep. The next day we got ready, had our breakfast and were ready for some local sightseeing throughout the day.
Hold on tight. And this is the dream. This all I
Here we came up to the Stoke Palace, which is almost a 200 years old place in Leh.
gonna take my time. Yeah, I'm still getting it right.
It had a beautiful museum inside where we saw ancient artifacts and relics related to the Ladakh's old monastery.
It's all I need.
Of course, we couldn't capture much from the inside as the photography was restricted.
I'm gonna take my time. Yeah, I'm still getting it right. This is life.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the
We'd rented our bikes the day we reached there and we would exchange them with our fellow travelers whenever we used to get tired.
Stop this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned.
We had a plan to go rafting on the second day itself, but there was not enough water in the rivers, so we had to shift it to the last day. So after lunch, we went to the Hall of Fame.
So take
This is a museum or a war memorial dedicated to the heroes of the Indian Army, especially for the ones who dedicated their lives for the Kargil War 1999.
For what it's worth, it was worth all the while.
We had some free time in the evening and we got to know that there's Ladakh International Music Festival going on. So we quickly freshened up and headed towards the ground where the festival was going on, and we were so lucky to see the Indian Ocean perform live in front of us.
तू किसी रेल सी गुजरती है मैं किसी पुल सा थरथराता
This was pretty much our day too, and then the next day we got up for the most awaited and adventurous day of our life, you can say. That was the ride to the Khardungla Pass, straight up to 18,000 feet high. After getting all happy high at Khardungla, we had a quick Maggie break. And then we switched bikes and shifted to the car as we both got choked up due to our sinuses. And then we landed into paradise. That paradise was Nubra Valley. After resting and recovering well that night, the next day we headed towards Hundar Sand Dunes in Nubra Valley. This is the only place in India where you'll get to see the double-humped camels and you'll get to ride on them. We had some fun there by drinking the fresh, cold river water. Got dressed up in the authentic Ladakhi way and did some nautanki. And captured smiles which would last for a lifetime. After that, we went to see the Maitreya Buddha statue, which is 108 feet tall and at a height of approximately 10,000 feet. We had planned to see the sunset and go for a little trek in the evening, but then we got stuck by a sandstorm. So we were left with no option and had to chill at the resort. But the next day, sky was clear and the sun was shining beautifully on the top of us. We set out from the hotel and stopped by to do some ATV sand dune rides. And then we started our journey to the Pangong Lake.
From Senegal, West Africa, to St. Louis, Missouri. Thanks to Catherine Dunham for giving my pops his glory.
This was the most challenging road we have ever traveled on. All the sand, all the pebbles in between, everything was so new to us, but at the same time it was super beautiful.
Fight one another. You see, the pain will never last. Did the best with what they had. He knew the world was out for grabs, and he searched to find his freedom. 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 Oh, freedom. Everything I have, everything I own, all my mistakes, fam, you already know. I wanna be free. I wanna be free. So I search to find my freedom.
And then we finally reached our stay at Pangong Lake.
Oh,
That evening and that night was super cold. We lit campfire at night and then slept off in our tents. The next day morning, we soaked in some morning sun and saw the beautiful colors of Pangong, and then we left for Leh.
It's kinda hard to talk right now. Honey, why you crying? Is everything okay? I gotta whisper 'cause
It was evening by the time we reached the resort and freshened up, so we just decided to chill at the beautiful cozy sit out which we had in our hotel.
I guess we never really moved on. It's really good to hear your voice saying my name. It's
Got up and rushed to the Gizmo bakery to have some yum 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 breakfast the next day.
those words, it makes me weak.
And then we headed towards the Pathar Sahib Gurudwara and the Magnetic Hill.
With the lips of an angel.
After spending some spiritual time there, we went to see the confluence of Indus and Zanskar River, and then we decided to do rafting over there itself.
Does he know you're talking to me? Will it start a fight?
The water levels were very low that time, so it was more of a boating than rafting. But yeah, we tried to enjoy that as well.
Next room, sometimes I wish she was you. I guess we
This was just the start of May, so if anybody ever plans to visit Ladakh, they can plan it by the end of May or June. Just from the rafting point of view, otherwise, it's wonderful.
hearing those words, it makes me weak. Never wanna say goodbye.
This was our last day in Leh, so we went out for shopping that evening and then collected some beautiful artifacts. Had some mouth-watering delicacies that evening at the Bon Appetit restaurant. And for everyone who would ask us how we planned our trip, this person was the face behind the whole tour plan. This is Siddharth. Smiling from the outside and crying inside because it was time to leave. We had extended our plan to travel from Leh to Srinagar because they say that road is heavenly. So we thought of experiencing it. On our way from Leh to Srinagar, we came across this beautiful village called Lamayuru, which offers this wonderful landscape, which is called as the Moonscapes. After we had lunch in Lamayuru, we came to Kargil and did some local sightseeing over there. So there we went to LOC, saw India's last base camp, went to the Plateau Baba Mandir and visited this old ancient museum which offered artifacts from 1920. Took rest for the night and then the next morning went to the one and only very famous Kargil War Memorial in Dras. Paid homage to the heroes of the Kargil War. Saw the Tiger Hill. and literally got chills listening to all the Kargil war stories. Due to the work going on at the Zojila Pass, there's a time constraint for people going from Ladakh to Srinagar and vice versa. So we were supposed to leave after 2 o'clock. And with all the picturesque landscapes around, we could just while away the time as it is. Everything on the way was so beautiful that we wanted to stop everywhere, but that wasn't actually possible. It was late night by the time we reached Srinagar and then stayed at our houseboat. So the next day we got up and went for a shikara ride for almost an hour in the Nagin Lake where we had our stay. And then it was finally time to say goodbye with a heavy heart. This was pretty much the gist of our 10 days trip to Ladakh. If you have any queries, you can reach out to us on Instagram, search for All Strings Attached, or ask in the comment section below. Thank you.